Good morning, SMF MMTs, and a good Sunday morning as it is at 8:10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on the wonderful Dow Jones Industrial Average. Think of it. Think of the daily reversals. Here's an up day. This was a 4-day. It's really classified as a weekly, but you can see it here. And we put in the lows there at 11,983, and we popped. And during that live trading day, as we were there, we clearly can remember what it was like when it came down and hit that delta line and then bounced like a rocket, because that's exactly what it did. That's exactly where the sellers had dried up, MMTs. And that is the most important thing to understand about a daily reversal. Now, let's take a look at this in our MMT platform. Let's see if I can find it. There it is. Here's a Dow daily reversal. Remember that each one of these lines are 45.05 directional movement up or down. Look at that delta reversal top. Let's go in here and populate some more lines. Wow, now it's all done for me. What a gift. The up move is that you've got to take the full move in consideration here. That at that delta line, right below, right here, that's also equivalent to half of that bar right here, where that breakout happened all the way to that top reversal. As we had said, my good friends, MMTs, and people who may be viewing the reversal here, is it is what it is. And then the bounce comes in at the delta line right here. And that's also half of that bar. That daily bar. Right here. 3-day reversal from an overbought market to the test line of this breakout bar that started back over here. And the money came in, and the body of that gap in the platform, remember that the upside deltas have to be as equal as the downside deltas. This was the short side of the market. That's where you make money when Dow stocks go down and markets are reversed. And look at all that weakness. Look at these double diamond alerts, triple diamond. We got these diamond alerts, everything down here. Right here. This is how you ride that sports car with this info panel. It's all about reversal 1 in the Dow. It's all about counter reversal 2. That when we look at the actual momentum to establish the immune system of the original reversal is to know where that pulse is. Because if I don't close above half of this bar right here on the Dow at 12,142, the Dow closed at 12,130. I've got to close above that half bar right here to confirm that I have to have momentum to the upside bar, just as I did on the reversal side, or just like any of these reversal bars. They start with new trends. Price action breakouts, and the public gets on board, and bam, you go up higher, you reverse, you came back down, and you tested right here. There's 11,971. That's half bar. Look at that wick. Bam! That's where the breakout happened. The thing about the upside for Monday is you need to see that if what's going to go on between the public transactional tape, okay, is that you're going to see where that the buyer would be chasing the move and feeling good about the Middle East and all of the headline events that are currently going out. We are already an expert in those headline events. We're not talking about those, though, in the Dow. What we're going to talk about is that momentum reversal here, right here. And that this half bar was 12.0556. And guess what? Let's see where we closed. 12,105. That means that we are closing right down here. If you look at your closing half, that's positive 74.05. That's huge. That ratio, $74 above the previous half move. That is bullish on that daily move. MMT, let's be coherent as to how a price action bottom sets up like these do right here for breakouts, and or like these set up for breakouts. That is the first phase of 4 phases to an index top. There's nothing that says that we can't break out, but we will have to do it on equal bars up, if not more. The higher the bar, the delta expansion, the more the public transaction is wanting to be in the tape. And that's all going to be decided over here. These numbers will not lie. And we went down so many deltas to the negative. So we know by taking a look at the bottom of that Dow is where those bounces came in, and that's phase 1. Phase 2 is that you could test. So they're buying the negative deltas down on that S&P. You can see right here below 12,000. Well, down here at 1199, 1 1/2 delta down, that was minus 135 points ago on the Dow. It's all right here. It don't lie. That's where money is made, is buying the negative ratio, MMT. The momentum of that ratio is going to be dependent on this half bar. And that half bar right here is 12,105. You've got a closing half bar above the previous bar substantially, 74.05. Because you do. And on the daily IRs, you can see where in that column per day where you stay elevated as well. Because if you're elevated in those numbers, then that means that the bounce has momentum in it. And the longer the time stamp of that momentum, the bigger the validation that that is. Let it be known. Bam! So, on the delta reversal, I've got to have the same price action. I'm going to be looking at what these delta lines are above here, because I've got to go running right through them on higher volume. If I go up and fail and start to slide the bid again on another bar like that, then that means that this daily reversal is still in play and could come down a lot lower deltas, should that be the case. We will find out between the public buyer and seller on the Dow. Here is a public chart. It is not the MMT platform, but nonetheless, these are daily moving averages that the public will look at, MMTs. The red line is a 20, and I teach you what the public looks at because that's where they're going to make their behavior transaction, their behavioral transaction. That's what's going to trigger them in. You've already taken a position long before these daily moving averages and indicators. There's thousands of them out there that people use, but they all lag price movement. And we are an authority and an expert on directional price movement because our business is making a market between the buyer and the seller and the public transaction tape. That's how they react. So you can see that the up move, the public is going to say, oh, well, that's, they would, to see the up move against that bar there, your platform is much better. But this is what the public is going to look at, that you got to close above 1222, 1223 on the Dow, and then consolidate that move, and you have to take out half of this SMF reversal bar, and this is what the public will look at. So you'll know how they make their decisions, and your decisions are made quite different. That's the beauty about that. That's right up above that 10-day simple moving average that's declining. One thing I will teach you new